it's pretty interesting that when you check out people who would say they are religious or go to church or whatever, when you really scratch the surface underneath there, you will find that those folks are more often than not pretty much the same as everyone else. They're really about as dysfunctional and as unhappy and just chaotic and messy and struggling and as human as everyone else, you know. And what's also interesting is that when you jump into a different pond that we call spirituality, and yes, spirituality is a very defined pond, as religion is a defined pond, strangely enough, you'll find the same thing. And you'll find people that might be doing a whole lot of other stuff and not referring to God, but referring to universe and source and so forth. But strangely enough, will be pretty messy and very human and not all that at peace and not all that content within themselves in truth. And so what's the deal with that? Because when you really think about it, I mean, surely between religion, which is meant to be the home of God, and spirituality, which is meant to be the source of your self-empowerment through Godhood, namaste powers or whatever, surely either of those two fields, being transcendent of the material rubbish that we know is not going to fulfill our stuff, surely either religion or spirituality should be floating our boat in terms of true fulfillment, don't you think? I think that the happiest people on earth should be the flag-waving religious or spiritual people, or at least one or the other. I really do believe that the religios or the namastes should have got it right. And it's a little concerning, and I guess it's worth wondering why that is. Like, where's the happy? Where's the peace? Where's the true peace, the true inner peace? Like, anyone from Jesus to Buddha will tell you about true peace. Like, what's the point? What's the goal of it? You know, if you go no thank you to religion, but yeah, I'm all spiritual, man. I'm totally spiritual. Cool. So what do? You know, what's your practice? Do you have practice? Oh no, I'm just spiritual. Okay. As different to, yeah, I have a practice. You know, I do yoga. I'm aware of diet. I do all of these things. Yeah, cool. So overall, like, how fulfilled are you in your life? You know, like, are you clear in yourself? Like, are you truly just on fire the majority of the time? You know, is your holy will on fire? No. And so then we jump back to the religious camp. And so what do? What's your practice? Well, I go to church. I may or may not read the Bible, may or may not go to church. Go to church, connect with my community every week, maybe. What else do you do? Nothing. You might be lucky to find a religious person that does extended community service or charity work or something charitable of that nature. But even that's pretty rare, you know. And so again, you might talk to folks within the church and all that, and really, you know, how fulfilled are you? How at peace are you? How deep is your relationship to God? How truly at peace are you, and in a state of grace are you in that of heaven that you are? And I think in all truth, you'll find that most people, even in religion, will have a bit of a tired sigh on their face, even though they might or would want to say, yes, I'm very fulfilled. I think what you'll find is they'll say, yes, I have God in my life, but if you really examined them and their life, I think you'll find that they're not overly fulfilled. And so it begs the question, you know, like, where's the happy? And I don't just mean material happy, sensual happy, you know, like everything that the world can give you happy. I mean actual happy, like true happy. I don't mean true love. I mean at peace. I mean the peace and the sense of true contentment that the Jesus and the Buddha and the folks of this nature have spoken of forever. Like, is it just lost on us? Have we just forgotten that there is a higher heart and elevated awareness, beyond just earth happy. Like, surely we've not forgotten that pace is above the stratosphere, but it is also within our hearts, and we're not going to find it where we're looking, you know. I really do wonder where the happy is, and I must say I have found for myself that the happy for me really is smack in between religion and spirituality. And you might say, where is this magical place? And do you have a ticket? Yes, I do. I do have a ticket. I have about 7.5 billion tickets, and conveniently enough, each one of them are already centered in you right now. I just found my ticket, and the funny part about the ticket is that when I found mine, I found all of yours too. They were all there. And what's real funny is that when you find your ticket, you'll find mine and everyone else's as well. It's real weird the way it works. But the place you're looking for, that is not in religion and not in spirituality, the place of peace that you are finding or looking for really, is God. Okay, I don't mean God of religion, and I'm not just using the word God as a replacement for the universe or source. I actually mean God. The thing that we don't really get, and the thing that we seem to have kind of skewed so roughly in our heads, is that religion and everything that we know, the Bible, the church, the establishment, all of it, every single thing that you know, is just the religion part of it. Like, it's not actually God. Like, God is what the whole establishment of it is about. The Bible is a devotional to God. The religion is a devotional to God. It is an established devotional to God. It is a signpost. It is anything of that nature. You might say that it is inspired by God, and that would be fair enough, because its nature is there to remind you of God and to worship God and to be able to access God. So certainly it is inspired. But to say it is God itself is a very different story. It is not an experiential kind of thing. We really can have God without that. And I think everyone realises this, but we've just sort of forgotten it because we haven't come to the logical conclusion that this world and all of its bullshit, there really is something else. Like, it's like we've just sat down and just gone, okay, this really is everything. What do I do? You know, twiddling your fingers like God's cooking away underneath the whole time going, I'll just wait for you to wake up, like, and realise, like, what are you doing, man? Like, get it together, you know, like, wake up, man. Because it's not in the religion, you know. And that energy, that fire, that essence of yourself, capital S, your soul, your spirit, whatever way you want to say it, that's non-denominational, man. That's got nothing to do with books and buildings or anything of the sort. And within spirituality, it's really the same. We've just renamed spirituality. We just renamed God the universe or source. God is simply saying that God is our creator. God is the source of us. But consider this. You might want to call your mum or your dad source. Like, because technically it's true. Technically they are your parent. They are your creator. So why don't you call them source? Hey, source of me, source of all that is. Like, there's a reason why you don't do that, and it's because it's completely impersonal, and it's basically a safe word. You would do it either to offend them, but more specifically, you would do it out of a sense of disassociation. There's no relationship in it. What an impersonal, cold thing to say. It's almost just robotic, you know? So to call one's creator, which is of a parenting nature, source, like, what an arm's length term to use for God. And we do that in spirituality because we can't stand the religion. And fair enough. And religion can't really deal with the fluffy bunny spirituality stuff because of its absolute disassociation of God. And this is where both of them just miss it, because God's right that screw the rest. You don't need the established spirituality or the religion for that. Spirituality ain't going to get you to God because they won't even say the word. And mainstream religion isn't really going to get you to God because they can't get past the book and the trappings. I'm telling you, happy is in God. God is the happiness that you're looking for. God is good. And I mean goodness, goodness, wholesome. It's true power. It's truly what you are. And what you are is what you want. All you want is what you are, your holy self. WH, holy self. Have a think about that. Just have a think about where you are in relation to God. And if you're on the fence about God because of religion and all of that kind of rubbish, or whether you're sort of in the spiritual camp and you're pretty convinced about the universe. You know you're not created by the universe, right? You know that that's literally a metaphor and a terrible one. The universe didn't create you, you goose. Like, okay, you may be of stardust and all of that stuff, but come on, think about it. What a ridiculously shallow thing to say. The universe did not create you. Like, come on, I'm calling you on the safe wordedness of it. That's just woeful. Try again. And source is true, like the creator of all things, yep, cool beans. But why don't you call your parents you are the creator of all things, you are the source? Like, think about that too. There's a reason why you don't do that, right? It's because you're scared. Like, come on, it's Papa. And maybe not in the mother-father way in a human sense, but this is Abba. This is the divine creator, the divine father. You don't have to get gendery about it. It doesn't. You can call it divine mother too. Like it. Just understand that it's beyond this realm. It's bigger than this realm's referencing. It's got nothing to do with anything like that. God is something so set apart from religion. God is something so set apart from spirituality. Of course, God is present in all of that. But what is the point of religion? Like, the whole point of religion, the whole point of the Bible and Christianity or any religion, like the point of religion is to remind you of God, is to bring God back into your life and go, hey, God is a part of life. God is what you are and what you want. And this is what you want. Like, it's just a reminder of that. And so then we go, right, I want God. How do I get it? How do I get it? And so we go to church, which is the driest place on earth for the most part. And spirituality is all about the how do I get it? What do I do? Practice, the yoga, the energy, the breath work, the connection, the diet, all of those things, And so that's how to get it. But there's no awareness of what we're looking for. Like in spirituality, you don't even know that the reason you're doing all of that is to attain your sense of God's self. Like, God is at the end of your path too. God is the point. God is the end result. God is the full stop. God is the end, the last book in the library of libraries. No matter what path you are on, it's where you're going in this life or in 1,000,000,005 more lifetimes. It is inevitable. It's the end. It's 0 point. And it doesn't matter which path you go, as long as you realize that the paths you're on are really just signposts and are just paths. Spirituality is not the end, and neither is religion. They are both pointing you to something far greater, and it's what you want.